back to Charlton Sports Weekly here at Anytime Fitness. I'm Glenn Hughes with Stan Wilds, and we're here to talk about the Indians' big win last week.
Yeah, it was a real big win. Brantley came in, and a few folks had them hyped up.
Right.
So I was expecting a lot better game than what we had, but hey, I'll take us blowing out anybody any day, any week. So,
Right.
I was impressed with our running game, and especially our offensive line. Defense looked extraordinarily good.
Yeah, they pressured the Brantley quarterback all night long.
I was worried about the secondary and the pass coverage, but we basically shut them down. So and broke their spirit by halfway through the third quarter, and they kind of rolled over for us.
I think so. I said the score was 41-6. You know, it was tight there in the halftime. It was just 14-0.
Yeah.
The Indians came out and opening drive, and I think it was 4 or 5 plays. Boom, they was in the end zone,
Yeah.
and I think that kind of disheartened them a little bit right there.
Kind of broke their back, and from then the spigots was open and the route was turned on.
Like I said, the fourth quarter, the Indians scored, I think, let's see.
Almost at will.
Was it 4 touchdowns?
Yeah. Yeah.
Three
touchdowns.
Three
touchdowns.
But anyway, a few statistics. Trey Hamilton got off to a great start for the season. He rushed for 211 yards and 4 touchdowns. So
good night for Trey.
I think both of them bumped him up in the number 3 spot. So he's slowly moving up the ladder, and rushing touchdowns. So
he may reach that mark yet and be number 1 in those statistic marks.
That's right. Also, we had Caleb Smith. He didn't carry the ball but 3 times, but he had 111 yards.
And one of those 3 times was the second longest touchdown run in school history.
Right. The third longest total run. And we had 2 people that's tied for the longest.
Right.
I think one of them was back in 1947.
I looked in the book.
J.M. Brock, I believe, was his name. And Ralph Bolden busted a 98-yarder against Long County several years ago. So 95 stands at number 3 for Caleb.
Yeah.
So he'll be in the record books for a while now.
Oh, yeah. And I don't see that one getting out of the top 10.
Yeah. Hard to get out of the top 10 when you're at 95.
That's right.
Defensively, Jerome Southall was the leading tackler. He had 5.5 tackles. Cody Wilds, your son, had 3 sacks, and he was close on several other ones, I believe.
He was getting held a bunch in the second half. But he got the 3 sacks. I believe they were all in the first half. And I believe Cody blocked the extra point, the extra point attempt for Brantley. I was proud daddy up there, and Brent, I think Brent was 3rd or 4th on the team in tackles. So
like I said, a whole lot wasn't getting to his level.
No, which he knew. He knew that with the passing.
He had to drop into coverage.
Yeah. But on another note, another player that performed well, not only on the offensive line at center, but as our kicker, Spencer Lowe, 5 of 6 on extra points. It's been a long time since we've had that. I know last year against Telfair, he was 8 for 8. But we'll take 5 for 6.
Any day.
Oh, yeah.
If we can kick 6 extra points, means we're doing pretty good.
That was I was impressed with special teams.
I said the punting also well. We had a new punter that I think they just discovered him not too long ago in practice.
I hadn't said that was the first time I've seen him punting.
Trey Harrington. He's just a sophomore, I think, backup quarterback, but he punted twice for like a 43-yard average. So,
and had very good hang time. Very good hang time.
So that's looking for good things out of him.
Yeah. Special teams, kickoff coverage looked good. Punt coverage looked good. Kickoff return looked real. We had plenty of, or only two chances to see the kickoff return. It looked good those 2 times. The kickoff coverage, we had plenty of chances to see that. So and that looked good.
When you can kick the ball deep, inside the 10, around the 10, the chances of them getting real good field position, it lessens the chance of that happening.
Right. Let's talk a little bit. One thing I wanted to cover, and I think everybody here in town also noticed it, at least everyone I've talked to, the officiating. That may have been the poorest officiated game I've seen in a while, Glenn.
It was not pretty, let's put it that way. We got called for 20 penalties. Now, I can't ever recall getting called for that many. Some of them were legit. I'm not going to question all of them, but there's a few I saw on film where our defensive back got slung to the ground. Our wide receiver got slung to the ground by a wide receiver, and we got called for holding.
Yeah.
And then we had one time where we blocked tight end was blocking a safety downfield, and the referee's back was to the play, and all of a sudden he just turns around and sees the Brantley kid going backwards and drops his flag.
And never even seen the hit.
Right.
He never seen the block. It wasn't even a hit, it was a block. He just dropped the flag for a 15-yard penalty. And I don't know that guy's name, but I think everybody who went to the game will know who the ref we're talking about. That guy does not need to be reffing a football game.
Like I said, it was not pretty. That's, but it speaks volumes for our kids who can overcome it. I think it was 155 yards worth of penalties. So if you can overcome that and still score 41 points.
And on the first drive, we had to score 3 times before it was good.
Before one of them counted, right.
The third time was the charm. So, I was proud of the team, though. They came out, was ready to play. None of us really knew what we had. We seen a limited amount of plays against Camden.
Right.
And you don't know really what you got when you're scrimmaging each other.
That's true.
So, yeah, that was our first real chance to see what all we had. And I feel good about the rest of the season. I just hope we don't have any major injuries.
Right. Another big thing was conditioning. I didn't see. Maybe a couple kids were slightly cramping, but none of them, had to be carted off the field. Of course, Coach Mack ain't gonna cart you off the field. You're gonna have to get off on your own, one way or the other. But
the kids were there. They had good. A lot of our kids were going both ways, and they seemed to have good stamina. I didn't know of anybody cramping. I didn't recognize anybody on our team cramping.
No,
I didn't realize or see any of that.
They were tired,
I did see some Brantley County players cramping though. I know they were tired. They, my boys didn't. Once we got home and got something to eat, they didn't. They didn't last too long. So they were out. So. But it was good to get a victory. I don't know. It was 1987 was the last time Brantley beat us, so it may be another 24 years before they beat us again.
I hope so.
So
this week we'll be traveling to Hinesville to face Bradwell Institute.
518.
5A school. We handled them pretty well here last year.
Yeah.
But every year's different, so you don't ever know. I know Bradwell, we always seem to be facing these kids that's committed to Georgia.
Yeah, they got offensive linemen.
They got offensive linemen. It's about 6'6", 340 pounds. And I don't know who's going to be lined up against him, but
it'd either be Cody or the Gowan kid.
Will?
Yeah, Will Gowan or Cody. Hopefully it'll be Cody. We'll see if he can. Cody's pretty quick off the ball, and he ain't too shabby, and he's fairly strong. So we'll see if the boy can, if he's got some wheels on him.
I saw a little bit of film on him, and he's got good feet to be as big as he is. They're mainly going to run the ball.
Yeah.
They will throw a little more than I think they did last year, but it's going to be a good test for us.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Like I said, the game is in Hinesville. I think it's called the OV Field. There's directions in the Charlton County Herald this week if you need directions how to get there. But it's kind of like I was told take the road like you're going to Fort Stewart, I believe.
No. It's you stay on. Bradwell Institute is right at the front gate of Fort Stewart. The field is you go through Hinesville on 84 as if you were going towards 95.
Then you veer off to the left.
Yeah, I believe it's
General Stewart Way, I believe.
You can get there from General Stewart Way or Memorial Drive, and you'll see the field. The field is in the middle of those two.
Okay.
So you go through Hinesville, and if you see General Stewart Way or Memorial Drive, turn left and just look to your right, and if you're on Memorial, look to your right. If you're on General Stewart Way, look to your left, and you'll see the field.
So another thing I'd like to talk about this week is some of the former Indian players we've got that's continuing to play at professional level, college level. I'm just going to kind of mention their names and where they're at, and we'll try to keep update on their progress as the year goes on. And if you've got any comments about any of them.
All right.
First of all, of course, the mainstay, we've got Champ Bailey. He's still at Denver.
Future Hall of Famer.
That's right. David Pender, he's trying to make it with the Bengals right now.
Also a member here at Anytime Fitness. I've seen David Pender in here throughout the spring and a little bit at the beginning of the summer. He was working out, getting ready. Good kid. First class kid.
No doubt.
I hope David makes it, and I hope he gets him a position with the Bengals.
I think so. If it's based on work ethic, he'll make it.
Exactly.
I said we've got two in what's called the United Football League now.
Minor leagues to the NFL, basically.
Kind of, yeah. It's they're down to 4 teams, so they're playing like a 6-game schedule, but hey, they're still getting paid to play.
Yeah.
So,
anytime you're getting paid to play, that's good.
You got Justin Mincy, who played at Florida State. He's out there. Well, both of them are with the Omaha Nighthawks, is the name of the team.
Mm-hmm.
But Justin's defensive lineman. Then you've got Dwight Dasher, who holds just about all the passing records here.
Yeah.
But I read recently they've moved him out to wide receiver, so, he's athletic enough. He can
play receiver, running back, quarterback.
He can play defensive back.
He's a slash player.
Right. But he can play probably anywhere you got it. They're in training camp right now, so hopefully both of them will stick out there with Omaha and get a chance to play some professional football. At Purdue University, we've got Ralph Bolden and Devarro Greaves. Devarro will be a senior this year, and Ralph will be a junior.
Right. Ralph's coming off of his second knee injury.
Right.
So I'm hoping Ralph has recovered good from that, and he was lighting it up there before the knee injury. Right. So hopefully he can pick up where he left off.
And after that, we've got Adam Davis, another hard-working kid.
Yep.
You can't help but to love that kid. He's gone through back surgery. He spent 2 years at a junior college at Hutchinson Community College, and he transferred to Kansas State last year, but he had to sit out because of the back surgery.
Right.
He seems to be, healthy again and compete for a starting spot at defensive end. So.
And I hope they put him on the kickoff team.
That would be fun to watch. You're right. Also, one that just left us here, Chris Milton, is at Georgia Tech. Really not sure if he's going to play this year, if they're going to redshirt him. I haven't really heard anything definite on that.
I haven't either. But
they will be playing Thursday night. I don't think it's televised, but I think I saw it. Might be ESPN3 or something like that.
You can watch it online.
Right. At Western Kentucky, you have Dexter Haynes. He used to be an Indian quarterback, now playing wide receiver at college. He'll be a junior. He came on strong, I think, at the end of last year and started several games. So hopefully he'll pick right up where he left off there. Keyshawn Peterson's at Southern University in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So he played as a true freshman last year. So
played tight end, didn't he?
Tight end, right. I read somewhere he's like up to 240 pounds. So yeah, he's 6'4".
Yeah,
So
and Keyshawn's a big kid.
right,
Big kid. Always was a big kid in rec league in high school. He played for me in rec league.
right. I had him for a year or two myself. So Terrence Milton, Chris's brother, he's the third. Well, Chris is actually the third Milton to play in college, but Terrence is at Clark University in Atlanta, where he'll be a junior also, a wide receiver. Right. I think they open up this week at Georgia State in the Georgia Dome, so he's familiar with that place.
Yeah.
He got to play there several times. At the Air Force Academy, you've got Anthony Wooding. He'll be a sophomore.
Another first-class kid.
Great kid. He also came in, started several games as a true freshman.
As a safety.
So, looking for good things out of Dinky.
Yep.
Also, out of last year's class, we've got Ronald Eldell, who is at a junior college out in California called Reedley College. So, hopefully I can find some information out on him and keep up with him. So
I've never heard of Reedley, but I've never heard of a lot of junior colleges either.
And the last kid I want to mention is Elijah Pollock. Played offensive line for us last year. He is at a prep school out in New Mexico. You know, that's dedication, wanting to continue playing football if you're going to go all the way out to New Mexico.
Yeah, or California.
That's true. So, you know, hats off to these kids for wanting to push themselves to, you know, make themselves better and, also get a college education.
That's right. That's what matters most.
But like I said, as the week goes on, we'll give you updated progress of these kids also. I guess we're going to go over some of the region games of the week.
Let's do that here. First up, Atkinson County. Both of us figured Atkinson would lose big to Savannah Country Day last week, and boy,
we both
wrong. They beat Savannah Country Day 21-7. It looks like. So Atkinson has either got a little bit more than we thought, or Savannah Country Day is just flat out horrible.
Right. Atkinson might not have showed everything they had during the scrimmage.
Yep.
So who do they have this week?
Atkinson's got, they're at Stewart County. School I really don't know nothing about.
That used to be,
Stewart Equipment?
Stewart Equipment, yeah. They used to combine counties enough to make a school, but both school systems decided to have their own football teams now. So it's just Stewart County now. It's
Southwest Georgia.
It's kind of between Albany and Columbus, that area.
Well, maybe Atkinson can go over there and get another win, if for nothing else, for the region.
That's right. I think
make us look good in the region. So, who you like in that game?
I'm going to give Atco their props.
I'm going to give them their props also and take Atkinson County over Stewart County. So go Rebels.
That's right.
All right. The next one here, the Bacon County Red Raiders. They jumped out to a lead on Jeff Davis and never looked back. They beat Jeff Davis 24-7.
Right.
Which that don't surprise me. Jeff Davis played a non-region schedule last year and I think played around 500 ball.
Right.
So this week, Baconton Charter is coming, or Bacon County has to go to Baconton Charter. Over in southwest Georgia. I believe this is the first or second year Baconton Charter has had.
I think last year was their first actual real season. I think they played a B team schedule the year before last. But.
I'll take Bacon County in that game.
I'm with you on that one too.
All right, the next one here. Let's go with the Clinch County Panthers. Now last week we split on this. I picked Pierce County to beat Clinch, and you picked Clinch to beat Pierce. And Pierce County missed a 30-yard field goal as time expired and lost to Clinch County 14-13. So this week, Clinch will play the Brantley County Herons. I don't think Clinch is as good as they was last year. I think they lost too much. They may still have a little bit of speed, but I still think they a lot better than Brantley County, though.
Well, Clinch is one of those teams that usually starts slow, and as the year
they'll
goes
get
on,
better.
They get a whole lot better as the year goes on.
Yeah, they'll get better as the year goes on.
Brantley County, I don't think there's no match for them.
I'll say Clinch by 2 touchdowns at least, and maybe that's by halftime.
I'm gonna give them about 4 touchdowns.
All right, this is a grudge match. This next game, this is a border game here. Irwin County against Fitzgerald. Irwin lost 28-12 to First Presbyterian Day School out of Macon last week. So Fitzgerald's just a powerhouse compared to Irwin. I'm going to say Irwin can get their hopes up, but they're going to go home with the same losing feeling they get every year when they play them.
It might get ugly over there, wherever they're playing. Ocilla or Fitzgerald.
I think it's Ocilla.
I don't think it really matters.
Yeah, I don't either. I think they could play in Rome, Georgia, and it wouldn't be no different. All right, the Lanier County Bulldogs. They are hosting the Berrien County Rebels. Last week, Lanier beat Calhoun County 24-14, which that's not too impressive because Calhoun County
not really a
they're not a powerhouse, and I can't remember Calhoun even making the playoffs, truthfully. Which Berrien isn't a powerhouse either, but they are a AA school. I don't really know too much about either team, but I'll take Lanier.
I'm going to go with Berrien. I think they've got a stronger team, maybe.
All right.
Got to be different somewhere.
There we go. All right, Telfair. Telfair played a border game last week with Wheeler County, and they lost in a tough-fought game, 14-7.
Sounded like it could have been a good one, though.
That could have been a real good game there. Sounded like probably the best game to go see. Would it? Well, I don't know. It'd be hard to beat that Clinch-Pierce County game. This week, though, Telfair travels up to Augusta. They play Aquinas. Aquinas is supposed to be pretty decent this year. And Telfair's riding, I think, 11 or 12 game losing streak.
They've lost a bunch in a row, yeah.
So I'm going to take Aquinas on that.
I think so, too.
All right. Next is the Turner County Rebels. Turner County didn't play last week, so this will be their...
They played Worth, didn't they?
No, they played Worth this week.
Okay. They played Crisp last week.
That's right. Yeah, they played Crisp and they lost.
Right.
That's right.
I knew they played
seen that on the vent. I can't remember the score, but
they were defeated.
They were defeated, and they played Worth this week, and I'm going to say Worth opens up the woodshed on them and beats Turner County. So
I for Turner to go for 0-2.
Yeah. That's 2 teams from your old neck of the woods over there around Albany.
Sylvester's right down the road from where I grew up.
Yeah. All right, Wilcox County. Wilcox travels up to Cochran to play Blakely County this week. Last week, Wilcox beat Miller County 34-0.
I wasn't surprised by the win, but I was surprised by the score.
Me too. Miller's usually fielding a real good team, or at least a fairly decent team, or a competitive team at the very least. Wilcox, I think, is going to be a pretty good team this year. I look forward to them coming down here to the swamp and seeing what they have. But we'll find out what they got next week when they play Clinch County in Homerville. So,
but I expect them to pretty much name their score probably.
Yeah, I'm going to say that they beat Blakely by almost. It wouldn't surprise me if the same score. 34-0 there. That pretty much covers the region games. Is there any other games going on?
I didn't have a chance to see anybody in there. Well, we know Camden's going to Ohio this week.
Yeah, Camden goes up to Ohio, and a lot of folks here in Charlton County are split whether they like Camden or don't. If Southeast Georgia team, especially a neighboring county, is going and playing on national TV in Ohio, I don't know. Maybe if it was Clinch, I might not. But Camden, I'm going to go for Camden
Right.
on Labor Day. They will be on ESPN also.
What day are they? Is it Monday they're playing?
It is Monday the 4th. I don't know the time, but it's that afternoon. And the Kirk Herbstreit Classic up there. Ware County, I don't know. I'm wondering. I know they always play Pierce at the beginning of the season. I don't think it would matter if they are. I think Ware's just got too much for Pierce.
Right.
Ware's got a pretty good team this year. Got a good group of athletes there, and I think Ed Dudley may have his best year at Ware County this year.
Oh, we forgot to pick our score now.
Oh, yeah. Us and Bradwell. Let's see. We beat them 42-3 last year. It's going to be a bunch of running in that
right.
That game.
Going to be running, so
yeah.
not a whole lot of points, I don't think.
I'm going to say we'll score 20 and Bradwell will score a touchdown, and they're going to have somebody who can kick a field goal. So I'll say 20-10.
I'm going to get a 28-14 Charlton.
28-14.
So you've got a few college scores you want us to see.
Let's go through some college games here. Excuse me. All right, I think tomorrow night to kick off the college football season. No, this is Labor Day night.
Okay.
Miami is playing at Maryland. And Miami's been in the news as of late.
Not good news, though.
No.
I think I read where 8 players are suspended.
8 players. A bunch of them are starters. They're starting quarterback. 3 or 4 of them are starting on defense. Miami's program is in shambles right now, and
but they're traveling to Maryland.
They're traveling to Maryland. It's a nationally televised game. Maryland got rid of their coach last year, and they brought in Randy Edsall from UConn, and I think Edsall is one out of the younger coaches in the country.
He does a good job.
Is a very good coach. I want to say that Edsall coaches them up and beats Miami by about 10 points.
I'm sure I can see it with Miami losing all their players and having to go on the road, and I'm going to pick Maryland also.
Yeah. All right. We'll cover the Gators here next. We got the Florida Atlantic Owls are coming to the Swamp this week, and
Howard
Schnellenberger, won the first national championship Miami had.
He's getting on up there, but he can still coach.
Florida Atlantic, they're an up and coming program. They just hadn't got the reputation in Florida yet to recruit nationwide. They recruit the Miami area well and a little bit of the South, but I'm going to say the Gators beat them by at least 6 touchdowns.
I don't know now. I won't give them that much credit. Of course, I'm not a Gator fan, so but I'm going to pick the Gators to win, of course, but they struggled in their opening game last year, and they got a brand new head coach. So you don't ever know how things are going to work out.
That's true. Yeah, they did struggle against Miami of Ohio.
I'm not going to say they're going to struggle in this one. I'd say they're going to win pretty handily, but I'm not going to give them 6 touchdowns.
All right. Well, I kind of want to see. I hope Florida Atlantic does good in that game, but we'll see how it turns out. All right. The next game we'll pick here is TCU at Baylor. TCU, probably one of the best programs in the country, at least over the last 5 years.
Right.
They've had a couple undefeated seasons. I wish they'd have had some sort of playoff last year because I think that defense they had could have played with Auburn. I'm not saying they would have beat Auburn, but
it would have been a good game.
They would have had a little bit better defense than Oregon had. Baylor has a quarterback that is very athletic. He's got a great arm. He's fast. He's hard to sack. They play out of a spread. TCU's going to line the ball up and run it right at you. that defense though of TCU. They bring a lot of kids back, and they've got a All-American linebacker and a kid whose name is Tank Carter, one of the best names in college football. Tank Carter. I'm gonna say, these are two bold teams. They right there in Texas. I'm gonna say that TCU pulls it out, but a lot closer than people think. I think Baylor's gonna score and make it real close.
Right. I think TCU lost their quarterback off.
They
that.
did.
I think he's in the running to start for Cincinnati this year. But, like I said, you said defense is kind of strong. I think in a close game, I'll go with TCU also.
All right. The next game, this is one of the big games on the weekend. Both these programs, though, are in disarray and are actually linked to each other in a recruiting scandal. Oregon and LSU, they're going to be playing at the Dallas Cowboys Stadium Saturday night. Oregon, they have been paying a recruiting service to kind of
give them some info.
Well, not give them some info, kind of give the kid they've been
kind of push him their
underhanding something through the recruiting agency to, I guess, slide to the kids to sway them to Oregon. LSU came out. They've had dealings with the same recruiting agency. LSU, though, they've lost a few starters in the last week due to
trouble with the law.
Yeah, got in a bar fight. Their starting quarterback was one of them. LSU can line up and run the ball. They're a physical team. The quarterback they're going to be starting, Jared Lee, he's proven.
He's had some experience. He's no newcomer.
No, he's no newcomer. He's not gonna beat you with his legs, though. I think Oregon's speed in the end, and this is a hard game to pick, because LSU could line it up and just run it right at them and beat them. I'm going to say Oregon by 2 points. I think in the end, Oregon's speed will be a little too much for LSU, but kind of pulling for LSU in that game.
I think so. I'm going to stick with the SEC. Yeah. Dallas is closer to Louisiana, probably have more fans there.
Yeah.
So, hey, that helps in a close game, that crowd noise. So.
Well, I'm pulling for LSU in that game. All right, the next game we'll pick here, my favorite team, the South Carolina Gamecocks. They're going to be playing in Charlotte against, actually, my third favorite team, the East Carolina Pirates. I'm very familiar with both of these programs. I follow them online. ECU has a very good quarterback. Their defense is down this year. The O-line is looking kind of down. South Carolina, on the other hand,
returning the SEC East champs.
Yep, they're your returning SEC East champs, and I seen this week on the site I subscribed to for Carolina. The New York Post has them starting the season. Number 1, got them picked to win the national championship. Carolina should be good this year.
Running back Marcus Lattimore.
Lattimore may be the best, in my opinion. He is the best running back in college football. Arguably the best wide receiver, Alshon Jeffrey. An experienced offensive line. My only fear with Carolina is the inconsistency with Garcia.
Right.
When he's on, he's on. The Alabama game last year, you need not look no further than that. The defense of South Carolina was top-ranked defense, rushing defense in the SEC last year. They are bringing everybody back. They got an All-American candidate at defensive end in Devin Taylor, All-American cornerback in Stephen Gilmore. They brought in the number 1 recruit in the country in Jadeveon Clowney. You got on one end, you got Devin Taylor, who's 6'8", 270 pounds, runs a 4.540. On the other end, you got Jadavion Clowney, who's 6'6", 250, who runs a 4.4, 4.540. Nobody's going to run around the ends on Carolina. Two good defensive tackles. The linebackers are all back. Cornerbacks should be good. The safeties should be decent. They're all returning. I'm looking for good things out of Carolina this year. I say Carolina beats ECU by at least 30 points.
I don't see that one being real close myself either.
No. All right, the big game here everybody in Folkestone's talking about. This is going to be what I'm labeling the uniform battle. These two teams will be playing in totally different uniforms than what they're used to. They call it the Nike Pro Combat.
Combat, right.
But the University of Georgia Bulldogs against the Boise State Broncos in the Georgia Dome. Fan base wise, Georgia's got to have 80. I guarantee you, 80% of the dome will be Dogs fans.
There's gonna be a lot of red and black in the dome.
Yeah. Be a lot of red and black, be loud for Boise. Georgia, I believe in some polls, they're as high as in the top 15. I've seen them as low as in about 20 to 25. Boise is number 5 starting out in the country.
I think it's the highest ranked team Georgia's ever started the season against.
Right. And I've had a few folks say, well, we beat Boise, or a few Georgia fans say this. We beat Boise back in '94, and so we, but this ain't 1994.
No, it's a whole different team we've got.
This is 2011, and this Boise State team over the last 4 years has won more college football games than any team in the country. Georgia finished 6-7 last year. They bring back a very good nucleus of players. Their quarterback's probably the best passing quarterback in the whole Southeastern Conference.
Right, Aaron
Murray. Aaron Murray, I look for big things from him throughout this season and the rest of his career. I think Georgia's strengths will be their defense. I think quarterback and the tight end. Georgia has, in my opinion, one of the best tight ends in the country.
Orson Charles.
Right, and him and Murray played high school football together, so you got chemistry from kids in college there. So Boise lost 2 wide receivers. They didn't lose much.
Right.
They have a very good running back coming back. Their quarterback, excuse me, by the end of the season, will be the winningest quarterback in NCAA history. Boise gets a bad rap, I think, because they play in the WAC or the Mountain West or whatever that conference is.
They don't have a whole lot of competition.
No, they don't. They don't. But when Boise plays on the big stage,
they show out.
They show out, and they have yet to lose on the big stage. They beat Oklahoma in what I would say is one of the best college bowl games ever. Last year in a classic, they gunned down Virginia Tech. I think Boise's going to come out and try and control the clock, and I'm interested to see what Georgia's got at running back. They got a good recruit that came in.
Right. They lost their top 2 running backs. One transferred out, and the other one was kicked off the team. So right now their starter, probably be the starter, it used to be a running back, and they moved over to linebacker, and they moved him back to running back, Richard Samuel.
Right.
He's about 220 pounds.
Yeah, bowling ball.
And then they've got Isaiah Crowell from Carver and Columbus, who was supposed to be the top running back in the country. So
yeah,
we're hoping he lives up to his hype, and least I do. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but
I'm interested to see what Crowell.
I'm not exactly sure how you pronounce it.
Yeah, I've heard people say Crowell. I've heard them say Crowell. Isaiah, we'll just call him. I'm interested to see exactly how good he is. I think Boise would be a good team to see him against.
But I think, Georgia's got something to prove after last year,
Yeah, they do. They definitely got something to prove. How do you see this game unfolding?
Well, I'm going to pick the Dogs to win. I can't help it. That's in my blood. It's going to be a nail biter, though. It's probably going to be back and forth, and hopefully, my Dogs can pull it out.
Well, I think it's going to be a nail biter. I think, I know it's the SEC. I know they're playing in their backyard, but this Boise team, every time they play on the national stage, they're undefeated. And,
it's got to stop sometime, man.
It's got to stop sometime, but it ain't going to stop this weekend, I don't think. I'll say Boise by 10 points.
All right.
Maybe the Dogs can pull it out. I just, until I see them improve on last year, I think Georgia is going to be a whole heap of a lot better on defense. They had some young kids play last year. They got experience. The O-line shouldn't be bad, but they plug in some holes on the O-line. If they can protect Murray, Georgia can win this game.
Right.
If they protect Murray, it won't surprise me if Georgia wins this game.
They don't have the big-time receiver like A.J. Green last year, but they've got several good ones to go around.
I just think Boise has that attitude that, nobody's going to pick on us.
Right.
And they play like an underdog. And they've accepted that role. And something that irritates me with folks with Boise. Boise State last year issued a challenge. They issued a challenge to any school. If you'll come play us in Boise, we'll come play you at y'all school first if you'll return the favor. No SEC, no Big Ten, no Pac-12, no ACC, or no Pac-12 team accepted that challenge.
Right.
And Boise gets athletes. I would say, but next to USC out west, USC and Oregon and maybe Stanford.
Sure.
Boise gets some top recruits out west, and especially in the Northwest. But hopefully the Dogs can run the ball and protect Murray and get some points on the board. But I'm picking it like if I had to put money on it, so I'll have to go with Boise.
One of us next week will say I told you.
Yeah, we will.
But anyway, that pretty much wraps up this segment of Charlton Sports Weekly. We'll be back next week, give y'all more highlights of the Maidens and the Indians football.
And hopefully some junior high scores.
That's right. We'll get you the middle school scores and everything else. But as for right now, here at Anytime Fitness, we're going to sign off for this week, so we'll see you next week.